Hey, Steve Stine from guitarzoom.com here, and today we're going to talk about tapping. In about 5 minutes here, I want to try my best to show you how tapping works so you can start exploring this yourself if you've never done this before. So the first thing is that I'm going to have some distortion on. You don't need distortion. One thing I would recommend, though, is be careful that you don't have way too much distortion because things can get really, really noisy. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to do some tapping with the A minor pentatonic scale. So I've got this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, which my 3rd finger is on. I'm going to leave that right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some tapping at the 12th fret of that 3rd string. Now, some people tap with their index finger. Some people tap with their middle finger. Everybody's different. I like to hold the guitar pick like I normally would, so I can go from tapping to picking right away. But some people like to, for instance, cup, like Eddie Van Halen used to do, cup the pick and then tap with their first finger. You need to figure out what works best for you. So while I'm pressing on this 7th fret, the other key to this is I'm going to try and deaden out all the other strings around me by lightly touching them. So the strings below here, I'm going to touch with this hand, and the strings above, I'm going to try and touch with this hand. That way they don't all start making a bunch of noise. So if I've got this 7th fret, what I'm going to do is come over with my middle finger in this case, and I'm going to smack it down onto the 12th fret of the 3rd string. Now, once I'm done, I either have to push toward the floor like a guitar pick would, or I'm going to go toward the ceiling. Now, it doesn't matter which way you like to go, but I'm going to tap and then I'm going to release. So I have... Either way works. Now, I tend to tap more toward the ceiling, but it just depends on what works best for you. And you don't just want to take the finger off. You want to literally kind of flick that string, so you have a lot of volume. And that's how tapping works. Now, let's say we wanted to make something a little more advanced. What we could do is maybe use the 5 and the 7 as well. So these two notes of the pentatonic scale. So I might do something like this. And notice how while the tap is down, that's when I would move my finger in place or get it out of the way. So that's one way you can approach this. Another thing that you could do is make more of a hammer-on or pull-off idea by doing the tap, and then what I'm going to do is go to the 5 and do a hammer-on to the 7 like this. Again, I'm getting the 3rd finger out of the way when the tap goes down. Right there. So it's definitely a timing thing that you have to get used to. Now, instead of going 5-7, I could go 7-5. Or maybe I do 5-7-5, like this. So you see, there's lots of different combinations of things that you could do. You could do just one note, and then go to a different note. Or you could combine them, which is what most people wind up doing, in some way. Now, at any time, any of these notes can be adjusted, but again, it needs to be adjusted when that finger is not needed. So let's say, for instance, I was back on this 5, 7, and 12, and I wanted to go, instead of playing 5 and 7, I'm going to go 5 and 9 with my pinky. So I play right here. See, I can do that as many times as I want and then move to this one. Or I could move the whole thing up. Let's say I move the whole thing up. Again, I'm moving when I'm tapping. That's where the move would happen. Now, the other thing I could do is I could move this finger. Let's say I'm going to move from 12 to 14. Of course, that's going to happen while there's something happening down here. So if I play that's going to be, because now this is released, I could move up then. So the most important thing is that you're keeping everything clean by touching everything as much as you can, the strings that you don't want so they don't start making unwanted noise. The second thing is be a little bit careful with how much distortion you're actually using so there isn't way too much and everything gets really noisy. And then there's the art of it. What finger are you going to use? And you're going to tap it down and then you're going to flick it off to make the pull-off sound. You might be going to one note. You might be going to a combination of notes. You could be going 5 to 7, which I'll call forward, or 7 to 5, which I'll call backward, or 5-7-5 or 7-5-7, where you're bouncing back and forth. Then you can also move. You could move up or move down as needed. If you're going to move this hand, you'd want to do it while the tap is down. If you're going to move this hand, you're going to do it while the tap is up, right? That's where you would switch. So just getting used to things like that. And the most important thing is play nice and slow until you develop the idea. Don't worry about doing all of them. Start with just one idea. And then once you get that, then move to another idea. Thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support the channel so we can continue to bring you more free content, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you'd like more in-depth training and courses, go to guitarzoom.com and get started for free today.